friends, welcome back. It's been a long time, I think many months now, and I was off working a lot, and because the whole mango season I wasn't working, so I had to work a lot after that and didn't have time to make any videos. But there was a lot going on in the garden. When I was off work, we were working, me and my wife were working on the raised beds. So you can see all the raised beds we have already planted. So this is the winter veggie garden for us. A lot of things growing right now. We have a blue kale, and this here is full of there are some carrots here. We have some radishes, some daikon radish here, carrots here, and different varieties of carrots are growing here. Here we have tatsois. These beautiful looking veggies are tatsois, and that raised beds we will have some tomatoes. Some tomatoes will be climbing up here, and we have leek and mustard growing, the Nepali mustard. This raised bed here we usually have African potato mint, which is now dormant. So we decided to use this raised bed for sunchokes. And this here is a tree collard which we got from our friend Janet in California. And back there is not a new veggie like a raised bed. This is the old one because they are perennials. It seems like we have some peppers growing here. In this raised bed we are growing some cucumbers. They will need support, so we will be, once they grow a little bit, we will be putting support there, trellises. And then these two are this is a manihot, and this is a tulsi, like that grows. I think it's more like a bigger size tulsi. That these both we got from our friend in California as a gift. So thank you, Janet. These two raised beds, we have things growing from last year that where it seems like they're perennials now. We have the dandelion here and there that we eat a lot, so it seems like they did very well in this raised bed. And also these plants we wanted to show here, as well as you can see all over here. This is culantro. It is like a tropical cilantro, and we actually eat it daily, a couple of leaves in our salads as well as when we cook. Same with the Cuban oregano that also we use every day. So, but the main topic for today is something different. It's about mulch and why we stopped getting mulch from outside, or why we don't encourage mulch anymore. So the story goes back to a couple years ago when we started the garden, and we didn't get our garden with a lot of ground covers and a lot of plants here. It was a hard rock pan, so we had to import soil which was kind of inert medium and then establish everything. So we had to start with mulch on top. And since we didn't have enough trees to mulch ourselves, we had to import the mulch. Import meaning we had to get the mulch from Chipdrop. We also got some mulch from FPL. In many places where we put mulch, we started to establish ground covers, but there were still many areas which did not get established ground cover, and we still had to put mulch. It happened, I think, months ago. The last pile of mulch that we got from FPL, we also distributed everywhere, and then I started to see leaf burn in all the plants that actually got that mulch. You could see this here, the tips burn. And initially I thought that okay, it's just the mangoes because I have a lot of mangoes. But then I started to see it in other plants as well. In every place that I distributed, so not every plant would be affected the same way. So I started to think what is the common denominator, and figured out that it was the mulch that I had distributed everywhere. So what I wanted to say is that you may not have the bad luck of getting a bad mulch. Probably the FPL brought the mulch from a place where they had put herbicides, and then it had run into the roots of the tree, and the tree absorbed, and the tree branches that the mulch must have had that mulch. It seems like the mulch had some form of chemicals that actually affected all our trees. So since then we decided to do our own mulching. We got a mulcher chipper that you can see. It's a small one. It's not a big one, it's a small one, but then whenever we trim a lot of trees, we have sea grapes and we have some oak branches that we trim, sometimes even mango branches. So anything that we trim, we bring it for mulching. The leaves I strip off because leaves go into a separate place where they decompose faster. Another thing about mulch we figured out is that although it's a good thing for short term, like when you want to establish a good microbiome, because the mulch will be decomposed by millipedes, worms, a lot of different microorganisms, so it does create a nice microbiome in the beginning, but it's not sustainable long term because it decomposes and it turns into very thin layer of soil, and again you have an exposed soil which doesn't help in regulating the temperature of the around your trees. So many places we have established many different ground covers. We didn't really think like an orchard. We just started to bring ground covers and see which one establishes faster. The mango garden, wherever a lot of mango trees are, it's full of ground cover now. Same with avocados. They like a nice cool area around the roots, so ground covers are doing very good there. A couple of ground covers that were close to the river were eaten by iguanas, so we will have to think other ways what to establish there. But there are still areas where there is exposed soil, and this is a new soil that we just brought. Before there was nothing there, just hard rock pan, and we wanted to put mulch, so we decided to use our own mulch. Again, it will be a short term because we will be establishing different ground covers. If you want to know what ground covers actually are here and what we are growing, it's not everything. There's every time we see more and more ground covers establishing, but we have a video about that we made last year, so you can we'll put a link up there in the video. So let's see how this machine works, and let's see how easy it is to operate, because we want to know if a common backyard gardener like me can operate this or not, because I have no special knowledge about this equipment. So we will watch what this does and how we collect them. Operating an equipment like this, make sure that you have protective equipment like glasses and gloves. This one runs in regular gas, so all you need to buy is just the regular gas that you use for your car, and then also an oil that you don't have to. It's been like probably every year probably you'll have to use that oil, like a lubricating oil. Turn it on. Once the bag fills up, then you can empty it and again do it. You can put leaves from top, as it says. We haven't done much of that, but just the only thing that we found out that it doesn't work well with is branches that have fibers, like bamboo branches or palm tree branches or leaves. It doesn't do well because a lot of fibers, and fibers tend to stuck inside and it doesn't run after that, then I need to clean it. Otherwise it runs very well, and all these branches you saw, it will be quite a work. One thing I don't like is machines that make a lot of noise, but unfortunately this one we will have to, and we try to be as short as possible so that neighbors and the other people are not disturbed by all this noise that the machines create. But yeah, I could hear neighbors doing the lawnmower. We try not to have a lawn, but sometimes we need to make, and even for that I bought the one that is manual, so that you know you just cut with the rotating blade, so that there is not much noise and you have a good workout with it. Just mulched a lot of branches and started to come out all the dust, so I knew that it's full now. You can see it's pretty well mulched. Does shred into very small pieces, it looks like. So this will be decomposing pretty fast, so if you want something that we want to stay for long, this is not going to work. But it does look ornamental, actually, very nicely shred mulch. Long and doesn't decompose fast is the pine bark mulch, and actually we do have Australian pines around, and the bark scrapes off easily, so we shred into small pieces and that stays for a long time. It also gives an acidic medium to the plant underneath. If your plant likes lower pH acidic soil, it helps with that. So hope you enjoyed. I'm not against mulch in general. It's good when you're just establishing a garden, but go for ground covers, which ground covers work well. And if you are to use the mulch, and if you think that you are going to be gardening for years and years like us, it's good to have a small mulcher for yourself, because you know you'll have to trim a lot of branches, and you don't want to throw those branches in the green garbage container, because that's not what it is for. Plus it's good to recycle the materials that are within your garden and give it back to the garden, and you know that works best well in a closed loop system. So hope you enjoyed, and hope we will start making new videos. I got a lot of messages from friends who are missing our videos, so decided to make it again, because that's the only way for me to connect. And with Corona and COVID, we're not meeting many friends now, it's all isolated, so it's good to have some form of interaction going on. Thank you very much. Our mangoes are dormant still. It's January 15th today, but historically here in our garden they have flowered after the second week of January, so I'm seeing some flowers now. Super Zuli has flowered and Sugar Loaf has flowered, so waiting for our regular heavy hitters to flower as well. Thank you very much.